Today we're going to be talking about the Russian S-400 that can destroy all kinds of jets. The S-400 Triumf, formerly known as the S-300 PMU-3, is a mobile surface-to-air missile SAM developed by Russia's Almaz Central Design Bureau for Marine Engineering in the 1990s as an upgrade to the S-300 family. The S-500 Prometheus is an upgraded version of the S-400 system that went into operation on September 16, 2021. Stay till the end of the video to discover just how powerful this missile system is and how many launchers it can control. The S-400 system was developed in the late 1980s, although the Russian Air Force did not announce the development of the project until 1993. The S-400 Triumf anti-air missile system is designed to take out jamming aircraft, radar detection and control aircraft, reconnaissance aircraft, strategic and tactical aircraft, tactical operational, tactical ballistic missiles, medium-range ballistic missiles, hypersonic targets, and other air attacks that are modern and advanced. The S-400 anti-aircraft missile system's basic version retains the framework of the S-300 type air defense system, including a multifunction AI radar, launchers, autonomous detection, and target designation. At the same time, the new set of controls opens up a considerably larger target channel. The 30K6E administration system, which can coordinate 8 divisions, is at the heart of the S-400 missile systems. The 55K6E is a command and control center based on the URAL 532301. The air defense system also consists of a 91 N6E, which is a panoramic radar detection system with a 600-kilometer, 370-mile range and protection against jamming, and is mounted on a MZKT 7930. It also possesses up to 6 anti-aircraft missile systems, 98Z-H6E, each of which can track up to 6 targets on its own, with an additional 2 battalions if the targets are within a 40-kilometer, 25-mile range. It also has a 92 N6E or NTN-2E multifunctional radar with a range of 400 kilometers, 250 miles, and the ability to track 100 targets. For launch, the 5P85T-E2 launcher is used, as well as the 5P85SE2 on a trailer, up to 12 pieces. A Russian presidential decree allowed the 48N6E, 48N6E2, 48N6E3, 48N6DM, 9M, 96E2, and ultra-long-range 40N6E missiles. Optional elements of this S-400 98Z-H6E include the 1516ME-98Z-H6E, which extends coverage by 30, 60, and 90 kilometers, 1938 and 57 miles, beyond that of the 30K6E. The 96L6E has a detection range of 300 kilometers, 190 miles. The 92N6E or 96L6E radar is housed in the 40B6M. The Protovnik GE is a 400-kilometer, 250-mile range anti-stealth UHF radar with a range of 400 kilometers, 250 miles. The Moscow 1 passive sensor is 2 plus 12 times more effective than the Protovnik. The Avtobaza M and Orion Plus Avtobaza add high-precision detection to the Orion target designation on the air defense system. According to reports, the 1RL220BE versions were utilized for jamming. The S-200D Dubna SA-5C missiles and S-300 D family radar systems have a range of 400 kilometers, 250 miles, and can be used without the need for additional command and control centers. The S-300 SA-20A, SA-20B missiles can be directed as well. Early warning and command and control target designation are provided by the A-50 and A-500 aircraft. Russia has also begun fielding the evolved S-400 Triumf missile system, SA-21 Growler, in the last decade, which can shoot 40 N6 missiles with a maximum range of up to 250 miles and speeds up to 6 times the speed of sound. The 40 N6 missiles, however, are meant to be taken on less maneuverable opponents than supersonic fighters. The 40N6 is capable of engaging refueling tankers as well as other airliner-sized targets. Fighters, on the other hand, would be hit by 9 M9-6E2 missiles, which have a maximum range of 75 miles and a slower Mach 2.9, but more agile speed. A 160-mile range intermediate 48N6DM missile is also available. An S-400 battery is said to be able to deploy in 5 to 10 minutes and engage up to 36 targets at once. However, the S-400s are not well suited to intercepting low-flying aircraft that use the terrain to hide their approach. The S-400 launch vehicles and radars are road mobile and capable. Commanders will relocate the batteries on a regular basis to make them difficult to find and destroy. They're also built to communicate with friendly radars, reducing the amount of time the battery's own radars are active and exposed and increasing their resistance to electronic warfare. Despite their lack of combat experience of this SAM, NATO aviators still hold the S-300 and S-400 in high regard. Several NATO countries have older S-300 systems, which its pilots have practiced against in exercises. The S-400 is likely to be a more difficult customer. The S-300 and 400, according to most U.S. pilots, represent a major threat to the largely non-stealth aircraft. Before we discuss how this SAM would fare in a clash with the U.S. military, be sure to subscribe to more content like this. Now, it's hard to know how an operation against these new systems would turn out. Ultimately, the outcome of a conflict would put a complex array of U.S. military capabilities against an integrated network of air defense radars, rather than a basic confrontation of plane versus missile battery. U.S. warplanes can fire a variety of air-launched anti-radiation missiles designed to find active radar installations, including the AGM-88 HARM, which has a range of 90 miles, and the AGM-158, which has a range of 600 miles on the extended range model. These might be used to target the radars that an S-400 relies on against fighter-type targets from beyond its optimal range. Electronic warfare planes like the RC-135W Rivet Joint might help identify electromagnetic activity around hostile radar stations, making them easier to remove one by one from afar. The United States Air Force also has a number of stealth planes that are difficult to target with radar-guided SAMs. The B-2 and F-35 can carry HARM missiles to help dismantle air defenses, while the F-22 would have to get closer to use its 45-mile range GPS-guided small-diameter bombs. All those stealth fighters can be detected by radars, so they aren't completely invisible to the S-400. Russian defense authorities are keen to point out that stealth jets can be tracked from a distance using low-bandwidth radars. However, such radars aren't precise enough to provide a targeting lock. The high-band targeting radar on an S-400, on the other hand, can target a stealth plane at short range, which may be a few dozen miles, using tracking data from a low-band radar to signal a targeting radar to ambush a stealth fighter that passes briefly within fire range is one strategy for defeating stealth radars. Let us know in the comments section if you think the U.S. Air Force can take on the S-400. Also, be sure to check out our video on U.S. attack helicopters deployed to Poland as response to war in Ukraine.